welcome back to another exciting episode of 7 Studio Ave. I'm your host, Jeff, and with me are 3 other hosts.
What's up, guys? It's Jalen.
And Sam.
And Brandon.
We've got a news-packed episode today, so let's jump right in. Bit of sad news to start. On the 12th of November, Stan the Man Lee passed away at the age of 95.
We'd like to dedicate this episode in his honor.
He's certainly had a very large impact on all of our lives.
No, for me, I think what I'm going to miss the most is just it's going to be weird watching a Marvel film and not seeing his cameo. Because, he's such a staple of, like, Marvel, and seeing his cameos, it's just going to be really weird not to see it, you know?
Yeah.
I have to mention, it will be a while before we don't see him, because he is in Captain Marvel and Avengers 4, so...
Yep. Not confirmed yet if he pre-recorded his for Spider-Man Far From Home. So we'll wait and see for that.
Also, speaking of cameos, what are your guys' favorite ones?
We'll get to that in just a second. I just want to mention that if Far From Home is his last one, I think that would be really touching, just because I think Spider-Man is probably his most iconic character.
I think it was definitely his favorite.
Yeah.
As far as favorite cameos, this one's a bit out there, but he cameos in The Princess Diaries 2. He does. It's just a random moment, but I always thought it was hysterical, looking back. Favorite Marvel movie cameo would have to be the one in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where he plays the Watcher informant.
Oh.
Just because it was our introduction to the Watchers in the MCU, and I remember sitting in the theater and seeing how excited our fellow host Logan got by it. So, and really that's what was so great about Stan, is he had the ability to inspire such not only hope, but just sheer glee in people.
I think my favorite was probably the one in Thor Ragnarok, because every other cameo gave me a little chuckle, a smile on my face, but that one genuinely made me laugh out loud, and that was largely in part to Chris Hemsworth's delivery during that scene, but I thought that was a really good cameo.
Yeah, I think I agree with Jalen with Thor Ragnarok being my favorite one. It definitely made me laugh the most.
What was yours, Brandon?
Mine was probably the one from Spider-Man 3. Even though the movie was kind of like everywhere, but I liked it because he was like, just believe in yourself, man. You got this.
Yeah, it's a very good quote of his.
Even though it wasn't like funny, I thought it was pretty touching at the time.
Can we all agree that his X-Men Apocalypse cameo is his worst cameo?
Although,
And that's why we don't talk about it.
well,
I don't even remember it.
it's interesting because he said that was one of his favorites because he got to perform it with his wife, Joanne.
Huh.
But it is unlike other Stan Lee cameos because it comes at what is supposed to be a very tense and dramatic time during the movie. Usually the Stan Lee cameo is usually just a bit of levity. So X-Men Apocalypse, bit of a weird one. All right. So another movie that he cameoed in was Venom. Now, me and Jalen saw that when it came out. Sam, Brandon, did you ever see it?
Seen Venom.
Well, even though you haven't, it seems like a lot of people have. Worldwide, it's made over $823 million, surpassing both Wonder Woman and Justice League, and frankly, I'm a little bit surprised.
I think, I was surprised at first, too, when Jeff told me this news. However, if you think about it a little bit more, it doesn't surprise me as much for a few reasons. So first, let's start with Justice League. Justice League didn't have a lot going for it. It wasn't that great of a movie, and on top
I thought it was fun.
It was a fun movie, but it wasn't that stand out. It didn't stand out that much. And on top of it, DC has a bad reputation, so that's going to hurt their ticket sales a little bit. And then if we're talking about Wonder Woman, which was a good movie, in other countries, I don't know what the support of a female superhero would be. In the U.S., of course, there was a lot of support for it, but there may be different standards in other countries, as well as I know in other countries, the movies that tend to do well are the ones that have a ton of CGI, and we did get that in Wonder Woman, but it was more towards the end in the fight against Ares. And then on top of it, wasn't there some sort of controversy over where she's from and people from her home country or the country that's I don't know the details.
I don't recall that.
There were some political issues with her movie from around the area she was from. I don't know the details, sadly, but
For those who don't know, the Chinese market plays a very large impact on how well films do internationally.
The Chinese market is the reason we kept on getting Transformers films.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
if you recall, a lot of Transformers movies somehow end with their climax in China,
Oh my god.
and
yeah,
that's
I do remember.
to pander to the
It's
market.
pandering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's call
it's
it what
blatant
it is. It's
pandering.
pandering.
Yeah, they gotta find that artifact somehow.
But so, looks like the success of Venom could lead to Sony actually going through with its universe of superheroes without Spider-Man.
Why?
The one that I want to
Why?
touch on the most is Morbius the Living Vampire, allegedly starring Jared Leto. And can I just say, I don't like Jared Leto.
Why? Because of his music or because of his Joker performance?
It's not even the performance. It's all the stuff that he did. His method acting. I'm using air quotes because during the production of Suicide Squad, he was sending dead rats to
Did he
people.
feel like a pig or something?
Yep. So there was supposed to be a table read of the script. He did not show up. He instead sent someone to throw a dead pig onto the table. He just seems like he's a massive inconvenience to work with. In Blade Runner, in the recent Blade Runner movie, his character was blind. So during the entire production, he wore contacts that made him blind,
Oh, dude.
which just seems like a massive inconvenience to everyone on set, especially the assistant that had to drag him around.
But I mean, look at how Blade Runner came out. So I mean, obviously he's doing something right.
That's true. But so I'm calling it right now. In preparation for his role as Morbius, he will consume human blood. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. We speculated before on this podcast, and if I recall, we have 100% right. I made a prediction that it was Bullseye in the Daredevil Season 3 trailer, and I was right. So, if we're wrong on this, then it's 50-50. But
Jeff, didn't you also predict the end of Venom as well? The last scene?
yeah. Okay, yeah. So, I predicted the part about where he...
Spoilers.
the convenience store scene. I predicted that would be the last scene. So we've got a 200% strike record.
I don't think that's how it works, but go for it, bud.
All right. But so, what Spider-Man characters, apparently other than Spider-Man, are you guys looking forward to seeing in these movies?
None of them. I don't want any of them to be owned by Sony at all. I genuinely have a growing hatred for Sony and their selfish goals in terms of the characters that we love. I don't want them to have rights over any character.
I am looking forward to Into the Spider-Verse. I've heard very positive reviews about that.
That actually has really good reviews. Animated, that's a different story. When we go live action, I don't know if they can handle that.
It's
Yeah.
maybe it might be another Dragon Ball Z thing.
Um,
I personally don't think it was too good.
yeah, the live action Dragon Ball Z is terrible, but I think that's a whole different category right there. Live action anime is just a whole different thing.
We'll report on Into the Spider-Verse when it comes out. All right, moving on. There were a ton of trailers that came out since last time we spoke. One of which, that's a bit controversial here in the studio, is Detective Pikachu.
Oh my god. Talking about live action animes, Jesus.
So, I assume to Brandon, Sam, and my surprise, Detective Pikachu actually has a very good reaction online.
I
know.
I really
You
like
know
the
what?
trailer.
I think
I'm saying it's because of Ryan Reynolds. I'm calling it right
I
now.
think it does look like a good movie, but I just can't get past the way the actual Pokemon look.
I
They
like
look
that. I
stuffed
like
animals
the
instead
CGI
of actual
detail.
animals.
The Charizard actually has scales. The Pikachu actually has fur. They've put actual details into these Pokemon.
Okay, the thing I don't like is Pokemon always had they looked attractive in the sense that they were cute or they just looked cool. Most of them weren't really designed to look scary or slimy. Greninja, his tongue wraps around him kind of like a scarf almost. And it's weird because you actually see the detail in his tongue
It's a
wrapped
tongue.
around his neck, and it's so unsettling. And how he's all slimy like an actual frog, and then like Jeffrey said, the Charizard. It's all right. Charizard was always more
I'll concede that Mr. Mime is scary as hell.
yeah, Mr. Mime
Mr.
looks
Mime has
creepy.
always been that.
But I don't.
So
yeah, but I
creepy.
don't think he's supposed to be.
Pikachu looks cute, so I'm fine with that. But I don't know.
Speaking of the titular Pikachu, I cannot unhear the Deadpool in his voice. I'm sorry.
It's because it's
I literally cannot wait until the online edits come out where it's Deadpool's lines coming out of Pikachu because that will be hysterical.
The other thing about the movie is I always enjoyed learning about like the Pokemon worlds that exist, like the different regions, Kanto, Johto, Sinnoh, Alola region is one of the newer ones. I always enjoyed learning about them and seeing how Pokemon affected that society, as if it's like a different society, a different world.
It's like a different country.
The fantasy element of it, I always enjoyed that. So when I see it's set in like our world, I don't know, it just seems a little like
They basically retconned everything.
yeah, like the
that
Pokemon
made
just
Pokemon
walking
great.
around. It didn't really fit for me. Like I would have preferred seeing a more seeing it more geared towards like the actual Pokemon worlds.
And it seems like too urban, to be honest. Because it's like,
I mean, there's cities in Pokemon.
no, yeah, I know, but I mean, like, usually there aren't really that many
I get what you're
Pokemon
saying.
walking around. Yeah.
No,
It's
there actually are. Like there in the cities, there's a lot of Pokemon. Actually, there's in the Pokemon world, in every location, there's tons of Pokemon.
I would.
I haven't played a game in like 5 years.
I look forward to seeing how like PETA responds to this movie.
Oh, dude. They're
Since-
using stuffed animal abuse.
But you
Okay.
joke, but PETA has actually had campaigns against Pokemon in the past, so
No.
I'm excited to see what their reaction is.
Okay.
Keeping on the Ryan Reynolds train, there was a trailer release for Once Upon a Deadpool. What are your guys' thoughts?
All you kids out there, you can go see Deadpool now with some
PG-13.
with your parents.
Yay.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw it with my parents anyways.
What's the point?
Money.
Dude,
I like the
you gotta
I
broaden
feel like
your
the
audience.
premise is funnier than what the
Yeah.
movie will end up being. The premise is that Deadpool has kidnapped Ben Savage
Oh my
in a
lord.
Princess Bride-esque style.
I read
dumb.
that he wouldn't do the movie unless he was allowed to do that.
I've also heard that part of the ticket money will be going to Ryan Reynolds' cancer campaign.
Mhm.
So at least there's that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm still not sure if it's both Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 or just Deadpool 2.
I would just like to mention that I haven't seen either of the Deadpools.
Because he's not up to date.
All right. So another trailer that we can all pretty much agree was really good was the Aquaman final trailer.
Yeah,
My man.
I liked it. Yeah,
I'm gonna
I mean,
be honest, I
I'm
haven't seen
definitely
it.
getting hyped for that movie. Seems like there's a lot going on. The runtime, that's long. It's like over 2 hours. I know that. How
Yeah.
long is it? Do you know exactly?
I think it's 2 hours 20 minutes. Don't
Yeah.
quote me on that, but
I like that. Get a fully developed story. So
there was a
Hopefully
critic
that's good.
screening, and all of the reviews I'm seeing are very positive. So
nice. Maybe DC,
DC
will
ne-
get another
DC needs a
good
win.
one on their belt.
in this trailer, we see there are these giant Subnautica-esque leviathans down in the ocean, and I'm really excited to see that.
It seems like you get a lot of that personal interaction, face-to-face interaction, as well as those more close combat you're in it fights, and then you also get all that crazy action with those huge underwater battles, which is nice to see a balance of all that.
Speaking of face-to-face, there's a shot with a CGI de-aged William Dafoe, and let me just say this. DC's de-aging tech is not as good as Marvel's. William Dafoe looks creepy as heck in this. The question remains whether or not he will be William Dafoe or William DeFriend.
Oh my god. Why you like this?
I don't know if our listeners knew this, but Jeff likes to make a lot of puns, so bear with us.
Much to our inconvenience.
All right. So, Aquaman follows the story of someone ascending to the throne to be the new king. Another trailer along that line is The Lion King that came out on Thanksgiving. It was more of just a teaser trailer.
I didn't even know it was coming out on Thanksgiving, and I had the football game I was watching with my family. I was talking with them. All of a sudden, I see this. I'm like, oh, I think this is the or not really live action, but the CG Lion King. And so I turned it up, and it was pretty impressive. It looked nice. I think it's cool, but I don't know if it's to be completely
Necessary.
honest, I don't know if it's needed. It's kind of just to make money. Oh, it looks real, and there's a lot of big names being voice actors, but is it necessary?
I'm
That's
very interested-
exactly my feel. Every time I see, Disney's remaking another one of their old films in live action or CGI, I just sigh. I don't understand why everything has to be remade.
To look better.
Beauty and the Beast was sort of a shot-for-shot
really looking better
remake.
That's the question.
So, whereas Cinderella in 2015 added new elements to the story. So I'm interested to see what path The Lion King will take. Whether they'll just shot-for-shot remake.
I don't
Or,
know. From,
like,
from the
combine all three
trailer, it
movies.
looks like it might end up being a
Yeah.
shot-for-shot remake.
An interesting difference is, Jeff, what did you say about Scar the other day?
Oh, so I heard a rumor a while ago that there's a possibility that Scar will be like portrayed as an albino lion, which would be more like accurate to like
Science.
nature. Yeah,
Nature.
nature and science, because generally in the wild, lions with a darker mane are more favored by females. Biologists still aren't entirely sure why. But so in the original Lion King, Scar has a black mane. So, according to nature, he should have been more preferable to females than Mufasa. So, if they decide to go through with this, that'd be pretty cool. I'm not gonna like not see the movie if they don't.
It's not a deal
He's
breaker.
gonna be voiced by, I know I'll mispronounce this guy's name, but he's the guy that plays Mordo in Doctor Strange.
Oh boy.
Not
Mads
Mikkelsen.
Mikkelsen.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name.
Yeah, but looking forward to seeing that. Alright. There was also a trailer for the Lego Movie 2.
Oh, no.
I did not see that trailer.
I saw it. Looks
haven't
good.
either.
Lego movies are fun. There's a joke about Chris Pratt's career because they introduce a new character, Rex Dangervest, who's just like Chris Pratt if he were a Lego, because he's a galaxy defender, he's a raptor trainer, he's an archaeologist, and a cowboy, which are allusions to Chris Pratt's roles as Star-Lord, Galaxy Defender, Owen Grady, the coolest character in modern cinema history, raptor trainer. He played a cowboy in Magnificent Seven, and a while ago he was rumored to be the new Indiana Jones, so there's the archaeologist. But so, looks fun. So yeah, got a lot of trailers. You know the one trailer we didn't get to see?
What?
Avengers. Oh
Avengers
my gosh.
4, still untitled. Welcome to a
Drop the trailer.
just drop the title even. Welcome to a new segment of the show called Jeff Rants.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to a new segment of the show where everyone rants.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So my problem with this is going to have what I'm going to call the Ryan Johnson effect,
Oh no.
where we're going to do an episode about The Last Jedi soon, but what I love about The Last Jedi is how it subverted expectations, it did something different. People don't like that because they had built up all these theories and speculations in their mind. I think the same thing is going to happen with the Avengers 4 title. People have spent so much time coming up with theories and speculation and their own ideal version of the title that whatever the title ends up being, there's going to be backlash. People are going to hate it.
The reality is there's so much hype over a title, but the title doesn't even matter. So, like Jeff said, he's totally right. There's going to be probably a bunch of people, I hate this title. This title sucks. We waited for this? What is this? And then there's going to be people who are like, wow, this is the best Marvel title ever. And it's like, who cares? It's a title. But because they've waited so long, there's going to be all of that like hype over it.
So let's get into some speculation.
Or you know, rage.
My favorite theory about what it could be is Avengers Endgame, because I feel the title should call back to something.
So, no, the Russo brothers did say that the name of the movie has been said in a previous Marvel
yes,
movie.
and Endgame has been said multiple times in the MCU. The two most prominent examples are in Avengers Age of Ultron, during a sort of argument with the team. Iron Man says, we're the Avengers. We can bust arms dealers all the lived long day, but up there, space, that's the Endgame. And it's a really emotional scene that shows how him and Captain America are butting heads. And then in Avengers Infinity War, spoiler alert, right before Doctor Strange turns to dust, he says, it was the only way, Tony. We're in the Endgame now. But so, I feel like Endgame would make sense as a title. I've heard a lot of people saying that it's going to be Annihilation.
Yeah,
I personally don't have a problem with Annihilation. I just, I feel it should have a good reason for it to be like that.
Some of you may have seen that why is his name? Mark Ruffalo was on Jimmy Fallon, and he did this little skit where he told the audience during a commercial break to react to what he said. He was gonna spoil the name of the title, name of the movie to the audience. And so in this clip that I saw of him on the show, he's like, "All right, the title is Avengers," and then they bleep out what he said. And the audience freaks out, and then he keeps going. He keeps telling them all these spoilers. He jumps up, and they're just constantly bleeping him. But you hear little bits. He's like, and then Hulk grabs this, and then you hear beep, 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 and everyone's freaking out. They're like, and Jimmy Fallon goes, Mark, stop. And so then Mark's like, oh, did I go too far? And he's like, yeah, man, I want to see the movie. So then Mark sits down, and now obviously that was a joke. However, Marvel fans are crazy, and they were a Marvel fan that knows a lot about audio was able to basically take away the beep so you can hear a bit of what he said. And he said Avengers, the last Avenger. Now, it's obviously probably not that, but it is an interesting little title they had.
Yeah, but the real question is, what did Hulk grab?
Seems like Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland have like a history of accidentally spoiling things.
Oh, yes, they do.
Mark Ruffalo accidentally live streamed the first 10 minutes of Thor Ragnarok from inside his like jacket pocket because he left his phone on.
Yep.
So that's a fun little thing. We're learning more and more about a possible looming threat in Avengers 4.
Yeah, I was always curious, will Thanos be the actual villain
Yeah, because
in Avengers 4? Because he's just chilling. He has no reason to come back to Earth to do anything.
the Russo brothers have said time and time again, Infinity War is Thanos' story. It's his hero's journey. And that's why at the end of the film, he wins. So in order for there to be like a sequel, there has to be good motivation. So there's been a number of clues that point towards some sort of larger threat. A while ago, we saw a leaked toy box image that had Rocket and Rocket and Thor in possible quantum realm suits. That's a different theory for another day. But there was a bit of text on the box. It was like, with his new axe Stormbreaker, Thor and Rocket are ready to defend something against a larger threat.
Mm-hmm.
And recently there was a book released about Thanos, and at one point he talks to like an elder of the universe who warns him about meddling with the Infinity Stones, something even the Celestials feared. And there was recently a book about Dr. Eric Selvig and Darcy, the side characters from Thor, where it also hints at some sort of larger threat. So there's theories about whether or not it's the Beyonders, like the Celestials. Crazy theory even suggested Galactus, which would be cool, but I don't think they have the rights to him just yet, so I'm not holding out anything.
We'll get there one day.
But it's very interesting. I'm very curious to see what the larger threat is.
While we're talking about trailers, I want to reference a theory I read online the other day about Avengers 4 and the Avengers Infinity War trailer. So, as many people know, and as we know because we're crazy fans and we're analyzing the trailer for every scene.
Hashtag frame by frame.
Exactly. There's
Use
a scene in Avengers Infinity War trailer that does not appear in the movie. There's several, but the key one that I think everyone noticed is the very end of the first trailer that was released.
When Captain America and Okoye and War Machine are running through the forest.
And Hulk never appears in the movie. They're all running through the forest. However, the only scene in the forest for that movie is when Thanos first appears. And, well, there is a scene where where Vision is fighting,
Corvus Glaive.
Yeah. And then afterwards, Thanos appears, and then one by one, the Avengers are kind of attacking
But there's
him.
never a full shot of all of them like that.
There's never that. So, as many people know, there's a theory out there that so Ant-Man is stuck in the quantum realm right now, and he will get out for the movie. It's pretty confirmed based on pictures we've seen from behind-the-scenes stuff. And a lot of people theorize that his knowledge from the quantum realm, combined with Tony's knowledge, will allow them, and even Bruce Banner's knowledge, will allow them to time travel.
Right, because in the post-credit scene for Ant-Man and the Wasp, the one where he gets stuck in the quantum realm, Janet Van Dyne is like, watch out for the time vortexes, we can't save you if you get the second one of those, and then they turn to dust.
Yes. So, a lot of people, because of other pictures that have been released of the movie, have seen, like, characters in New York, and Captain America wearing his Avengers 1 suit. Which
can I just say, I rewatched The Avengers the other day. Still holds up, but that suit does not. It looks like weird pajamas.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they changed it.
Yeah, so a lot of people believe that the Avengers will be going back to several different points in the MCU's history. Rocket Raccoon and someone else, maybe Nebula, will go back to the first Guardians with the Power Stone. And then there's the Tesseract, which is the Space Stone.
It's all to try and
the Mind
destroy
Stone.
the Infinity Stones before Thanos can collect
Yes,
them.
yes. And now, in terms of the Soul Stone, or maybe I'm not sure what specifically, but the theory is that clip from the Infinity War trailer, where they're all running in the forest and Hulk is there and they're all together, is actually a scene from Avengers 4, and that it's a scene of when they went back in time. To the Battle of Wakanda, and this time they know Thanos is going to appear in the jungle, and they've got Hulk out, and he's had his whole character arc, because it's pretty, everyone can assume that Hulk will be coming back in Avengers 4, and they're rushing for him, I guess. They've got a plan maybe this time. So I think it's an interesting theory. I don't know if they would actually do that. I don't know if that's actually true, but I thought it was a pretty cool theory to hear.
I think that's pretty cool too. What I'm really hoping is that the Avengers 4 trailer comes out, and at the very end of the trailer, that's the first time we see the title. I think that would be a really cool moment. I am someone who loves great trailer moments.
I have been someone, I think many people around the world would agree that trailers have become an art in the last 10 years. Because if you look at like trailers like Star Wars Revenge of the Sith from 2005, they're terrible.
And trailers, like, in the 80s would just explain the plot of the movie.
Yeah. And now trailers have dramatic music, specifically cut scenes. They spent days upon days, weeks upon weeks creating these trailers. And
I remember
really
I once saw a trailer for Return of the Jedi back in the olden days, and they're like, it's Han Solo, and Darth Vader, and Luke Skywalker. All your favorites return, and Star Wars.
Just the whole cast.
The Return of the Jedi.
I have been someone who just appreciates trailers even if the movie is bad. Batman vs. Superman, in my opinion, had one of the best trailers of our decade.
Wait, I think that can also be chalked up to the fact that there's usually a disconnect between the people that make the trailers and the people that have actually made movies, which also that sometimes, I mean, this is kind of off topic, but sometimes that can create issues where the directors, they won't want a certain thing to be shown in a trailer, but the people that make the trailers, they don't know that, or they just don't care, and then that ends up in the trailer.
We should point out a trailer that spoils is not a good trailer.
That's basically like...
Cough, cough, Doomsday, Batman versus Superman.
I also felt like the first Deadpool, between all the clips they released and the trailers they released, when I watched it, I felt like I'd already seen most of the movie.
I'm gonna be honest, although it's one of my favorite Marvel movies, I think Thor Ragnarok is my least favorite trailer. Because, again, it gives away too much. They show the hammer being destroyed, and they show the Hulk. Part of me loves trailers, but a part of me wishes that, like, we could go into movies blind. I know, like, fellow host Logan Kelly doesn't watch TV spots, because TV spots do give away a lot of, like, the little moments that make films good. Can you imagine knowing nothing about Thor Ragnarok, and then suddenly the Hulk shows up? Because, like, they hint at it at different points throughout the movie that it's going to be the Hulk. But I would have loved to have, like, not known that the Hulk was... It would have been so rewarding for fans.
I would have been freaking out in the theater. That
it
would have been great.
so rewarding for fans who, like, know the Planet Hulk storyline. They'd be like, oh, he's on Sakaar. Maybe they're going to... No, they wouldn't do that. Oh, my gosh, they did that. Sort of like how we reacted at the end of Solo when, spoiler alert for Solo, Darth Maul just shows up.
I mean, something similar to that actually kind of happened a few weeks back when I went to see Overlord. My dad, he texted me, he's like, hey, do you want to see Overlord? And I've never heard of this movie, never seen a trailer, so I'm just like, sure, because he says it's like it's a World War II. Yeah, it's a World War II zombie film. That's what he said to me. So I was just like, okay, like, let's go try this out. So I went in I had no idea what to... I mean, I had an idea, like World War II, obviously. But when you actually see the film, not knowing what like you're going to expect, it's a completely different experience. Because, you know, when you see a trailer, you're constantly looking out for those things that you saw in the trailer. And when you see it, it's like, oh,
10
yeah,
things
I saw
missed!
Yeah, it's like, oh, I saw that in the trailer. It's like, yeah. You know?
Easter eggs and references.
It's like in Get Out, how they claim it's a horror film, even though it's more of a thriller. And, like, the only quote-unquote jump scare, which is, like, a deer running across the road, they show that in the trailer. And then, like, that happens. And you're just waiting for...
I thought that was removed. I thought that that actually didn't end up in the movie.
No,
in the
it did.
very beginning, there's a deer.
It happens in the very beginning.
Oh, you're saying that? I thought you were talking about like the. Never mind.
Are you talking about when he gets killed by the head?
Yeah, you know what I'm
There's like
talking
the
about.
skull of the deer. It's all
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Oh no, that's not in it.
No, it's not.
No, that
That's
scene
not
was
in the movie.
removed.
I've seen the movie several times.
Wait,
That's
wait.
not in the movie.
The
Wait, which
awkward
part?
moment
Where
you
the
haven't
break
seen
gets
Get
snapped
Out.
by it? What?
Nothing.
Oh no, I forget what we were
So-
saying.
Never mind.
The point of this long tangent is that Marvel, please just give us the Avengers 4 trailer. Even if it's just Infinity War Part 2, just give it to us. So, we'll be sure to report on that when it comes out, but that's going to do it for right now, guys. Be sure to follow us on social media.
Be sure to follow us on social media on Instagram at 7studioav. We also have a Twitter. It's the same thing. And go to our website at www.7studioav.weebly.com. And I believe our producer put some Christmas stuff on the
Yeah.
website.
He did.
Yeah, he did. All right. So,
Straight from the
Merry
80s.
Christmas,
I
everyone.
encourage-
Also, if you
Yes.
enjoy Jeff's rants, you can see more of them over at my Instagram at geek_guy_Jeff. Shameless plug.
He has some unpopular opinions, so prepare yourself.
What about another underscore in that name?
That's it. But anyway, we'll see you in 7.
See you in 7.